sections of the media in Nepal, they have gone euphoric recently. Over what, you might wonder? This is over the recent visit of India's foreign minister, India's foreign minister S. Jaishankar to Nepal. He was on a visit to this country on January 4th and 5th. These sections are quite upbeat about the results of this visit, especially this what they call a landmark deal on the export of 10,000 megawatt of green energy from Nepal to India over the next 10 years. Let's talk a bit about this deal. About this 10,000 megawatt thing. Of this quantum of energy, Indian companies like SJVN, Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited, that is a state-owned entity, and then NHPCL Limited, and then this is also a government entity, and the GMR. These companies already have bagged hydropower projects with total capacity of about 5,000 megawatts. And the very same companies, the Indian companies in general, they are also eyeing lucrative projects like the Budi Gandaki project, that is 1200 megawatt reservoir based project. Then Tamur, that is along the Kosi basin. Remember these companies, the Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited and NH. The Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited has backed Arun 3 Hydel, Arun 4, and Lower Arun as well. And informal talks with relevant officials make it stark clear that India wants to capture, the Indian companies want to capture the entire Kosi basin. They state that basin management will be quite easier and efficient for them if they get all those lucrative projects along the Kosi basin. They want to capture the entire stretch, that is their design. That is why they have also been eyeing the lucrative upper Arun project that the state owned Nepal Electricity Authority is trying to develop for some time. Reservoir based projects lead to augmented water flow around the year, benefiting downstream communities, especially those areas that have sound infrastructure for irrigation, navigation, drinking water supply, fisheries, etc. India has robust infrastructure, so it stands to gain from that augmented water flow around the year, constant water flow resulting from reservoir based projects based in Nepal. On the other hand, Nepal's southern plains do not have such infrastructure. So this what you call the water, the rainwater, the river water stored during the wet season and released during the dry months, the winter months, and March, April. that kind of months. They just that kind of water stored in a reservoir by inundating our communities, by displacing thousands of people, by inundating settlements, by inundating forest areas. That involves a huge cost, environmental or otherwise, doesn't it? That kind of water is called produced water. Produced water costs worldwide. But in the case of Nepal, we have only been focusing on energy, the green energy. We are satisfied, we seem satisfied with a morsel of energy that we get as a result of giving the Indian companies the license, issuing the Indian companies the licenses for hydropower generation. This green energy means reduction in the consumption of this availability of green energy means reduction in the consumption of fossil fuel. This reduction brings whole lot of benefits. You just can claim carbon credit for lessening emissions. Also, there is a marked improvement in the lives of people because the availability of green energy means you shut down those smoke emitting kilns and industries and factories. This has a positive effect on public health, on the environment, on biodiversity, that kind of thing. But we are not calculating those benefits. We are not calculating those benefits and generating power on our own. Rather, we are issuing licenses to foreign companies, Indian companies in particular, by just getting certain concessions, some amount of energy for free. This without taking assessment of how much energy we will be needing in say the next 10 years. This is the height of visionlessness on the part of Nepal's political leadership and bureaucracy to subservient organs of the state. Furthermore, the Indian entities they have like ready access to corridors of power. There is every possibility that these companies will do every bit to just bag lucrative idols in Nepal. This means this entire 10,000 megawatt power trade agreement is most likely to benefit the Indian entities, the Indian state, the Indian government at the expense of Nepal and the Nepalese. Dear audience, I'm not just uh, engaging in some kind of rhetoric against a certain country. There are history is replete with Nepal sold down the river through controversial deals, whether it's the Kosi agreement, whether it's the Gandaki agreement, they call it the Gandak agreement, whether it's the Mahakali treaty, that infamous treaty that caused Nepal to lose its water sovereignty and that also impacted Nepal's national sovereignty. These deals, as for the Kosi agreement, this deal happened after the political change of the 1950s. The then Prime Minister Matrika Prasad Koirala signed that deal from Nepal with not his counterpart but some lower official. Then BP Koirala, the Nepali Congress Prime Minister, signed the Gandak Agreement despite protests against the deal, thus handing over the the Gandaki River to India. Then Prime Minister Girija Prasad Koirala, also from the Nepali Congress, literally handed over the Mahakali River through a very controversial instrument, the Mahakali Treaty. It was the then Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba who succeeded Girija Prasad Koirala, who just played a crucial role in passing that treaty, that very controversial, seditious, treasonous treaty through the Parliament of Nepal, through horse trading and other unethical means. Complicit in that deal were now the KP Sharma Oli, now the CPN UML chair, Madhav Kumar Nepal, uh, leaders from the then Rashtriya Sadbhavana Party, the Nepali Congress, of course, and Nepal Sadbhavana Party. So we have a long history of uh, India just selling us down the river through such deals with, of course, tacit support from Nepal's corrupt to the core political leadership. In that light, it will be too early to just take this deal, to take this energy deal, to take this deal for the export of 10,000 megawatts of the green energy to India from Nepal. What I fear is that Nepal's uh, uh, Nepal's territorial integrity, Nepal's national sovereignty will be further compromised. These deals will end up further compromising Nepal's national sovereignty because the projects the projects will have that some kind of ownership over those project sites. I think whether it's in the case of the West City, whether it's in the case of Seti River 6, Arun 3, Lower Arun project, and then Arun 4. That then comes this Upper Karnali. It's a massive. It's a very lucrative project, a 900 megawatt project. What's more, there are reports that suggest that India has been eyeing the Karnali Chisapani project, the reservoir based lucrative project based in Nepal, for quite some time. This project alone can generate 10,000 megawatts of energy, 10,800 megawatts of energy to be exact. This is a reservoir based project. So uh, downstream benefits, of course, to India in terms of augmented water supply, water that will be available for fisheries, navigation, drinking water, and irrigation. These benefits, Nepal has not been seeking. Nepal's short-sighted political leadership as well as bureaucracy does not seem to be caring about these benefits and putting a price on these benefits. Rather, it seems bent on selling this raw energy, this raw material uh, at dirt cheap rates at the expense of Nepal and successive generations of Nepalese. So I don't think this 10,000 megawatt deal will be hugely beneficial for Nepal. Even the students of diplomacy, they know that S. Jaishankar is a maverick. He is no less than Chanakya of these times. So it was quite undiplomatic, I think, on the part of S. Jaishankar to object to a coinciding visit from China, to a high level visit from China to Nepal at a time when he was in Nepal on a 2 day visit. Reports suggest that he objected to a visit from Chinese Communist Party officials, and he made this objection known to the government. This report published in My Republica points that uh, he objected to the visit from Yugang, Deputy Secretary of the Deputy Secretary of the Standing Committee of the Communist Party of China's Yunnan Provincial Committee. He was on a visit to Nepal at the time when S. Jaishankar was visiting our country. So he objected to this visit from China. I don't think like it is quite diplomatic on the part of the ace diplomat to comment on such a topic. Nepal is free to just conduct its foreign relations the way it deems like suitable, it deems appropriate. So S. Jaishankar should not have stepped into this matter because Nepal also has strategic autonomy, like he does. He can just go around and meet all kinds of leaders in Nepal, leaders across the political divide. Those some of the faces, some of the figures who would not see eye to eye otherwise appeared uh, together with S. Jaishankar. What kind of message is S. Jaishankar trying to deliver? I think is that he can engage all actors across the political leadership in Nepal for the sake of Indian interest. He has that strategic leeway, and that is the message he probably wanted to give through these meetings. Whole lot of political leadership, whole lot of Nepal's tried, tested, and failed political leaders made a beeline to meet S. Jaishankar. So uh, this proves that India has this vice-like grip on Nepal. Having said this, let's talk what went amiss during this visit. There was no talk on border disputes. Nepal has been saying, has been objecting to India's occupation of the 400 square kilometer territory of Lipu Lake, Limpiadhura, and Kalapani. Also, there are a number of other territorial disputes. There are a number of cases of illegal Indian occupation of Nepali territories, whether it's in Susta, whether it's in Pasupatinagar, Maheshpur, Kanchanpur. As we just make this presentation, there came one more case of encroachment of Indian high-handedness. Nepal was Nepali officials, Nepali engineers were engaging in construction of this postal highway in Dang district. Then came a team of Indian security personnel, and they just uh, barred these Nepali officials from engaging in construction works, stating that the territory belongs to India. So, this kind of attitude is there. Every day, a new dispute crops up, but Nepal's subservient political leadership as well as bureaucracy did not raise these increasing instances of border disputes with India. Also, this agreement on India providing up to 200 million rupees to Nepal for uh, India just directly providing 200 million rupees uh, to for a project in Nepal. That kind of controversial deal. This kind of deal is further likely to muddy Nepal's troubled politics. It is likely to further strengthen India's grip onto Nepal. uh, this kind of deal has already been signed, so I don't think Nepal has made substantial gains through this visit. Nepal has also been seeking air routes for just operationalizing the Gautam Buddha International Airport in Vairahava and the upcoming Nijgarh Airport. But no such word, no promise regarding the granting the permission to fly through the Indian skies into Nepal. No kind of such deals happened. So, most of the concerns coming from Nepal were not heeded. India had its way this time also, thanks to the subservient, thanks to a subservient political leadership and bureaucracy. This much touting of this Indian visit, Indian high officials visit as a success does not hold much water. Nepal, I think, has lost again. It's a kind of another series of self goals against Nepal, self goals made uh, with tacit support from Nepal's political leadership and bureaucracy. But of course, I want to be proved wrong. I want the time itself to prove in course of years that Nepal made substantial gains through this visit. On this note, I wrap up this edition of Soft Talk. I request you to subscribe to this channel. As you know, we are trying to promote citizen journalism. We are trying to be your true voice. For that to happen, we need your support. I request you to subscribe to this channel, comment on our presentation, and press that like button. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.